Hello, I'm the Earth. Yes, the very planet Earth you live on. I'm going to talk to you about 3 words that begin with R that I love. They are reduce, reuse, and recycle. Do you know why I like them so much? Because they are almost magical words. Together, they can make all living beings and myself much happier. I say that they are almost magic because alone they cannot do anything. They need all you children to make the real magic happen. Each and every one of you are the true magicians of the 3 R's. The 3 words that can change the world. Do you want to know how? Yes? Well, let's find out. The first R is reduce. If you think about it, there are loads of things you don't need. When you go to the supermarket, I'm sure you can bring a bag for the shopping instead of using the ones they give you there. In this way, you reduce the use of plastic, which is very polluting. I'm sure that neither do you need to print so many documents or photos, nor do you need to leave the lights, television, or the computer on when you aren't using them. If you do this, you will reduce the usage of paper and energy. And you will help to reduce pollution. And these are just a few examples. I'm sure you can think of many more ways to reduce anything that might generate consumption or unnecessary waste. One simple question will help you before you go shopping. Am I sure that I need this, or am I doing it on a whim? The second R is recycle. Now, it is easier than ever to recycle things we no longer need, so that many of them can be reused. Very close to home, you will find many places like recycling facilities and suitable containers for depositing cans, plastics, paper, organic waste, or electronic waste. They even have their own colours so you can identify them easily. By using them, you will avoid the pollution of nature, rivers, and seas. And also of the atmosphere, that is to say, the air you breathe. And finally, the third R is reuse. How many things can we use multiple times instead of throwing them away at the first opportunity? And in doing so, give them a second useful life. I don't know, what about a sheet of paper with only one printed side? A cardboard box? Or a plastic bottle? You get the idea. With a little bit of imagination, I'm sure that you are going to create loads of new, useful and fun things. And remember, if you use the 3 R's, you are going to ensure I am a cleaner planet with less pollution where we all live better. Because, as you already know, changing the world is child's play. Bye, friends!
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.
Hello friends, I am the Earth, your planet, and I want to talk to you about the ground, which is really important, and yet we rarely take it into consideration. The ground which you walk on every day is my most superficial part. It's where your houses are built on, your schools, and also the roads on which you travel. It's where rivers run along, plants grow on, and animals live on. How do you think the ground was made? Well, it was a very long process, taking millions of years, and is still continuing, in which some really strong workers are involved. The sun, the wind, the water, and living things. Rocks, which at the beginning made up my surface, bit by bit began to crack, breaking into smaller pieces because of the strength of these workers. This mixture of different minerals grew richer with organic matter coming from plants and dead animals. It takes 100 years to obtain just 1 centimeter of soil. The result of all this process gives us a surface where life can live, full of wonderful creatures. We must look after our ground just as we are maintaining our air clean as well as our water. because it's imperative for living things for them to be able to eat as well as to have a place to live. And there are so many dangers which, in a very short time, can transform fertile land into a desert where it is impossible for life to thrive. Forest fires, as well as cutting down large amounts of trees, are examples of how the soil is left defenseless. Without the help of the roots from trees and plants in the ground, rainwater and wind wipe away the nutrients in the soil. This is called erosion, and when this occurs, nothing will be able to grow there again. The same thing happens when toxic products are thrown on the ground, killing living things and contaminating the water that flows underground, making the land sterile. Without healthy soil, it is impossible to have a healthy life. So we must look after it all together. The ground you walk on is the ground which allows you to live. It is for this reason that we must help maintain it clean and respect it by never throwing rubbish on it. If we keep it clean, I, the earth, your house in the universe, and all living things which live on me will be a lot happier. Because, as you know, children can make a world of difference.
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.
Hello, do you know who I am? I am the Earth. Yes, that's right, the planet Earth. And I would like to talk to you about trees, as they are very important both for you and me, and all living things. Do you know how many trees there are on my surface? Almost 3 trillion. Yup, I said trillion. It is difficult to imagine such a large number. And it sounds like so many. But the truth is, we need even more because they are essential for our environment to remain healthy, as well as for you and me. Every year, 15 billion trees are cut down. It's crazy. When simply looking at a tree, we only observe a part of a complex and fascinating living thing. Underground, you can find the roots, and it is because of them that the tree sticks to the ground, while at the same time, they suck up the water and minerals found in the soil, allowing it to grow. These roots are also like hands, grabbing hold of the earth, avoiding it from being eroded by the wind and water. The water and all the nutrients it receives from its roots extend throughout the tree, through the inner part of the trunk, a true column for the tree top. This is where we find the tree's branches, which grow outwards in a similar fashion to the roots underground. Here is where the leaves sprout out, a fundamental element in all trees, as it is because of them that photosynthesis takes place, so they can feed. What does photosynthesis mean? Well, it's a fascinating chemical process. The water, enriched with minerals, reaches the leaves and then, with the help of the sunlight and the chlorophyll, which is also responsible for the green color they receive, is mixed with carbon dioxide absorbed from the air through the leaves. Photosynthesis is essential for trees, but also is really important for all living things living close by, because it traps carbon dioxide, or CO2, which is one of the causes of the greenhouse effect that is making the temperatures rise all over the planet, meaning me, and that's why I'm so hot. During this process, the tree also expels oxygen, an essential part of the air we breathe. And there are many more benefits we can gain from trees. They're like tiny living planets, offering food and shelter to a multitude of different animals. Human beings get wood and fruit from trees. They help soften the wind strength and rain, as well as reduce air contamination, filtering it through the leaves and branches. And I am sure you have found relief under the shade of a tree on a very hot sunny day. Well, they do a similar thing to me. The forests are one of the best means I have to regulate the climate, thanks to their shade and ability to avoid water evaporation. As you can see, there are many good reasons to look after trees, and, better yet, to plant them and help them grow strong and healthy. I suggest a very exciting idea. Encourage your parents to grow trees, for as you know, children can make a world of difference.
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.
Hello friends! Welcome to a new Happy Learning video. Look at these images. Do you like the rain? Well, it's true that sometimes it can be a bit annoying. But what about how beautiful everything looks after it rains? The colors look new. The air is purer. How good it smells. And everything looks cleaner and brighter. When it rains, everything is full of life. Because water is life. Just check out how this little bird loves water. Can you imagine if this were no longer the case? That the rainwater, instead of cleaning things, would be dirtying them? Yeah. Or that instead of giving life, it would sicken and destroy everything it touches. Sadly, this is already happening. This terrible rain exists. It is created by us, human beings, with the smoke from the cars and boilers and gases from factories. All this dirty, toxic air goes up into the atmosphere and mixes with clouds. It gets into the water droplets that form from them, turning them into droplets of polluted water, into droplets of acid rain. That is why this rain, so harmful and dangerous, is called acid rain. Even its name is scary, isn't it? This rain is so bad that when it falls on the earth, it causes real disasters in nature. It dries plants, destroys soil nutrients, poisons the water of rivers and lakes, and makes many animals sick and die, like this huge fish or this little frog. What a pity! Yes, the chemical compounds in acid rain are so harmful that they can even make statues and buildings look ugly and spoiled. What a shame! I can just imagine what you're thinking. If acid rain is capable of destroying stone, what can we do to stop it? Well, actually, an enormous amount. Because, as we are always saying in Happy Learning, the health of the planet is everyone's responsibility. With small measures, we can make huge changes. For example, if we choose to take the school bus or bike, or if we put on a sweater instead of turning on the heating, or if we recycle waste in its corresponding containers, we pollute the air less. And with less pollution rising into the atmosphere, the clouds will be clean again, and the rain will be pure water again. Goodbye, acid rain! But as you know, this can only be achieved with everyone's participation. So let's get to work. Let's take care of our planet. And now I'm off to jump into puddles because it looks like it's going to rain. Goodbye, friends, until the next video.
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.
Hey friends, I'm the Earth. Yes, the planet where you live. And today, I've woken up especially sad. Do you know why? Because I dreamt that water pollution increased so much and that all living beings that live in the oceans, seas and rivers disappeared. And even though it was only a dream, I can assure you that if you don't stop contaminating water, very soon, this dream will become a reality. The pollution of the water really worries me, and even more so if we take into account that 3/4 of my surface are covered by it. Although I call myself the Earth, if you saw me from space, you would see I am more like water. In fact, I am known as the Blue Planet. Everyone knows that water is indispensable for life. Without water, neither plants or animals would exist, and neither would you, the human beings. However, many people continue to throw rubbish, bottles, and furniture into seas and rivers, as if they were containers used to get rid of anything you don't want. In many homes, liquids like oil and dirty products are thrown down the drain that mix with water, and this extremely contaminated water travels through pipes to rivers and seas. Also, there are many companies that pour chemical products down drains that cause lots and lots of pollution and kill many aquatic animals. Here, you can see this seal eating a plastic bag thinking it's food. We don't know if the poor thing will survive. Or this dead frog killed by pollution. Another great enemy that covers my surface is oil. You can't imagine the damage it has done to the seas and oceans. The sinking of ships that transport oil have provoked great catastrophes. Only time is capable of fixing. But with this, I don't want to make you feel sad. Because as bad or as complicated as things appear, there is always a solution. Furthermore, I'm sure that if you help me, working together as a team, we will make sure the water becomes clean once again, and that the living beings that live in it are safe. A way in which you can help is by collecting your waste when you go on a trip and never ever throw it into the sea or a river. Another way is not to throw oil or other liquids like paint down the drain. Also, we can encourage our relatives and friends to improve their habits and start to think more about the importance of ending water pollution. Caring for water is caring for life. Therefore, you have a great responsibility. I need the help of every one of you in order to be healthy. If you look after the water, you look after nature and all human beings. I am convinced that together we are going to make sure that my sad dream does not become a reality, because, as you know, changing the world is child's play.
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.
Did you know that carnivorous plants feed on insects and arthropods? This is because they tend to grow in places where the soil does not provide them with all the nutrients they need. Although, like plants, they don't have any muscles, they are able to move thanks to the water pressure inside their leaves, which allows them to close when they feel they can capture prey. But rest assured, they are completely harmless to humans. Did you know that the tallest tree in the world is 115 meters high? Yes, and it's growing all the time. It is estimated to be between 700 and 800 years old, and it has never been revealed where it is to prevent the many people who want to go and see it from disturbing the ecosystem in which it lives. The tree with the largest trunk diameter in the world is the tule tree. To wrap your hands around its trunk, you would need nearly 30 people with their hands linked together. To give you an idea of just how big it is capable of providing shade for 500 people. It is certainly a good shelter for hot days. Did you know that water lilies were sacred to the Egyptians? The Egyptians believed that by opening at day and closing at night, water lilies worshipped Ra, the god of the sun, the sky, and the origin of life. Today, we know that these beautiful plants, which grow in ponds and lakes, help to keep the water clean and crystal clear. They also serve as a refuge for many aquatic animals, such as this little jumping frog.
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.